Do you ever wake up one day and think, I'm just going to start a vlog? Well, that's me this morning. This is one of those slightly crazy ideas that I have. It just kind of makes sense. I don't know, I was like, why not, right? Why not start a vlog? Oh, this camera really sucks in the dark, doesn't it? So, I guess why might this be interesting, right? I guess everyone lives their life, but you kind of wonder sometimes, like, what other people's lives look like, right? What do they do? What kind of things do they get up to? How do they think? And I guess it just kind of made sense to me to start recording that. Not even necessarily for anyone else, but my kind of mad ramblings to myself. So I start pretty much every day the same, interestingly. Just kind of easier, takes less thinking about. First thing I do every day is figure out how I can get my phone into this stupid phone stand thing. First thing I do looks something like this. Oh, that's cool. Every day, first thing, protein shaker. Thing that goes in the protein shaker. Lid. Every day looks like this. Always start my day off. My protein ad for free, there you go. Always start my days off like this. Obviously working days, usually a little bit earlier than this. But today we're starting a little bit later. I think as the title will probably say, I'm on holiday. And so now makes sense to do something like this, to try out something like this. See what it looks like, see what it sounds like. I mean, why not, right? What do I have to lose? My brain's already thinking half of this stuff anyway. So, why not, right? So what's the plan? So, start off with the protein shake. Then we're going to take supplements. Again, standard every morning. Take supplements. Then, typically, we shower, head off to work. Today obviously is going to be a little bit different because we're on holiday. So probably go for a walk. I've got quite a few things I need to do work-wise. Well, part-time esports coach. There's always work to do, infinite work to do. So first thing for today, is this gonna go there? I can adjust this, right? This is where you start to realise that you've not thought about this or planned it enough, and you're just kind of going at it, freeballing it, which is kind of like that level of insanity I think you need to do shit like this. So every morning, supplements, huge blocks of supplements. They're not all mine. There's probably more things in there than we need, but I guess have interest. Creatine, multivitamin, Tonka Ali, sometimes I take 2 of those, but I'm taking 1 at the moment. I find it affects my sleep if I take too many. Vitamin K, and that's all for absorption of the next one. Which, to be fair, for most people that watch this, if you're in Europe or in America, this time of year, vitamin D, because it's fucking horrible outside. 2 of those. I'll be honest, there's not a huge amount of science that goes into this choice, but many of them kind of make sense. So that's kind of like the beginning of the day. That's it. Every day, always the same. Today we'll go for a walk because we can. It's nice. It's fucking freezing outside, but I think walking's super important. You know, it's something I do at work. I try to go for a walk every hour when I'm at work. Most of you, many of you do office jobs, or I guess in school, it's not so bad because you're kind of forced to walk between lessons and stuff. But at work, you just sit there all day otherwise. Then, what things do we need to do? So, I've got to edit my podcast. That's one thing I need to do. So I need to make the intro for that. That takes more time than you think. If you've never done something like that, then go try it. It's hard. It really takes like a lot more thought than you kind of think it does. Then I'm not sure exactly what order things are going to come in. So I'm going to sit down with my IGL possibly today. I gave him the opportunity. He wanted to kind of like work on some strat stuff. So I said, sure, I can sit down with you at any point during the day. So that will just kind of come when it comes. What else? I'm writing my book, obviously. I could show a little bit of that later. That's going to take probably quite a lot of time as well. But that's kind of, it's one of those things that can kind of just like slot in where you need it, right? I find that just like, I can just kind of fill the time. Also thinking to probably break the day up a little bit with some cleaning. Just, my house needs cleaning, so get the hoover out. I need to hoover my kitchen soon anyway. I broke a glass last night, so I need to hoover that up. And then from 3 PM my time, then we've got scrims. So sit down with the team for practice, 2 hours of scrims, then VOD review, then another hour of scrims. And then that'll get us to the evening. And then I guess that kind of depends how much energy we have left. If I've still got good ideas, then I'll do a bit more writing. Often I find my best ideas come in the morning, or at least I'm most creative in the morning. I think this kind of varies from person to person, but I think, you know, it's hard to know, right? I don't have anyone else's experience of the world, so in my head, morning is good for creative stuff. Evenings not so good. Good for kind of analytical stuff. The brain still works perfectly fine, but it's certainly not as good for being creative. So let's drink the protein shake and head out on a walk. Made it. I'm really fortunate to have a park right near me to go for a walk. It's actually really nice. Big lake, all the swans. It's really pretty here. I think a lot of people, I think, miss out on that kind of mindfulness aspect of going for a walk. It's almost why I feel like having like a little vlog is actually quite nice, right? Because just like unfiltered thoughts or whatever you want it to be. So maybe like a diary. I don't know. It's one of those things where it's just like, why not do it? I'm kind of going through those kind of thoughts in my head. Maybe they're useful to someone else. You know, you're probably having a similar experience. You know, lots of us are. You know, we all go through similar things. I certainly find that I try and do too many things. Like I said, too many things at the moment. Lots of things on my plate. Lots of things to do. But yeah, a walk's good. Clear your mind. I think it's very good for ideas. I certainly find that I have a lot of ideas. If I go out like this and write them down. Writing the book, it's useful. When you're in a team, it's useful. You know, you come up with new ideas for strategies, or I guess it gives your brain the time to kind of piece together the information that you've had, right? And the things that, you know, piece together all of the stuff you've seen in your scrims, and then, okay, well, this is the solution, or maybe we should try this. You know, gives you time to process, which you often don't give yourself, right? We live in a world where we don't do that. And actually, I think to be truly productive, even like me, when you're doing probably far too many things, you have to give yourself the downtime, because that's only going to make you more productive. So when we get back, straight onto the video editing. I actually totally forgot that I said I'd sit with someone today. Had someone message me and ask for some advice. And I kind of wish more people did that. I mean, it's something that I wish that I did when I was kind of getting into this kind of thing. And maybe even now, you know, it's about always reaching out to those people that are kind of one step ahead of you, you know, asking for that advice. And just, you know, not being afraid to be rejected from that. It's like, you've got nothing to lose. Why not reach out? Why not ask people for advice that are kind of one step ahead? Most people are pretty reachable. I don't get any messages, right? I get a few from people that have messaged me before, typically. It's very rare that like someone reaches out and says, oh, you know, I'll ask a question. You know, it's not like people know who I am, but you know what I mean? Like when you're in such a small niche, there's lots of people to reach out to. You know, you see top teams playing and you can just reach out to them. I've certainly found that a lot of like coaches in tier 1 have reached out to them and they've been more than happy to reply, you know, even sit down and have a discussion with people. Easy for me to say, but at the same time, if you're a tier 3 player, there's plenty of tier 2 players that have no following. You know, it's not like there's a high kind of social bar to get over. It's just that fear that holds you back. Or maybe you don't even think about it. Maybe people don't even think about it, don't think that they need advice. But a lot of the times it's the things that you don't know that are holding you back. I think sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we forget that. So at the moment, the bit of the book that I'm writing is all about, I'm writing the kind of introduction and kind of high performance mentality about mentality. It's interesting when you sit down to write these things and kind of reflect on your own journey. I kind of wrote sections of kind of my past, my personal life, and how that's kind of affected my mentality. How it's kind of framed how I think, the things that I do, things that I choose to do. It's all about sharing that experience, right? It's experience that shapes the way that we see the world, and that's what kind of content, whether that's books, podcasts, vlogs, whatever it is, sharing that experience is what first gives you that knowledge and then gives you the perspective to change. So I'm trying to think of things to write more in this kind of mentality section, I guess. That's kind of what's coming now. So I wrote a kind of section on growth mindset, writing a section on laziness. I'm going to write a section on kind of the balance in our mind and you know, how you can't be perfect at everything. You know, being, for example, I think like me, I like to do a lot of stuff and I'm pretty overactive. But at the same time, I think that's the challenge then, is to make sure you don't push yourself to burnout. Make sure you don't go off on random ideas that are not useful. You know, I definitely could do that. Do things that I don't think are helpful. Or when I rationally apply my brain, they're not helpful. They just sound like fun ideas. You know, you can be very, very excited about them, but they're not actually good ideas, you know. They're just fun, but they don't really push you towards your goal. And that's kind of, I guess, certainly a big downside for me. For other people, quite the opposite. You never do anything, so you just need to start doing actions. I wrote a post about this yesterday. You know, actions with repetition become practice, practices with repetition become habits, and habits become who you are. And I think that's totally true. You know, I certainly see it myself. You know, like doing the podcast every week, you become a podcaster. If such an attribute exists. But this is really muddy. I'm trying not to fall over here. That would make for an entertaining vlog. And, oh my god, it's really boggy. Yeah, so I'm heading back now. Start writing, thinking, editing, and then break for lunch, and then probably start working with the team later this afternoon. So, see you back at home. Don't get some just randomly turns off. Right, to work. Oh, so we made it back. So, I can't multitask, as you can tell. This is one of those things where, yeah, you kind of wish you could. So, we're going to get straight onto the editing, and then maybe a bit of writing. It depends how we want to balance it, right? It's one of those things, it's nice where you kind of, I guess, work for yourself and manage yourself in this regard, that you can kind of choose choose what you do, choose how you do it. So let's get on with the editing. See you in a bit. So we just finished up editing the first section. All I'm doing is kind of cutting out the little clips so that it's ready for kind of putting together the music and editing it together. I've got way too many clips as always. I always think I like too many of the clips. I mean, obviously I do a podcast that I find really interesting and I really enjoy. So I think for some people it's probably a little bit much. I'm trying to make the intro shorter and just take the best clips. So we're gonna have to cut some of these out. But at the same time, some of them are good that I could just use them for shorts or something, so possible. So I'm gonna take a bit of a break now, take a lunch break, maybe watch a bit of Twitch, and then after lunch, come back and do a bit of writing. I think I might take a break from the editing because it's heavy. And yeah, see you in a bit. So just had my little break, about to go and grab some lunch. Been watching Diary of a CEO. It's a good break. I think it's a really inspirational thing, actually. I think a lot of the stuff that I learn, experience from that, I think is so important. I won't show you inside my fridge, but here's my lunch for today. Pasta, broccoli. Nothing particularly exciting, but already ready to go. Thank you to my beautiful girlfriend for putting that together for me. So, gonna grab some lunch and then get on to some writing. So, just finished up writing. Got a fair amount done. Today hasn't been maybe as productive as I would have liked, but first day of the holiday. About to hop into the scrims now. Got 2 hours of scrims, then a VOD review, then another hour of scrims. I'll probably drop an update halfway through. We'll see how it goes. Whew. So, just finished our first 2 scrum blocks. Taking a little breather. That was tough. To be honest, today wasn't a great day. I think not every day can be. It's quite frustrating, right? I think yesterday was really good, you know? Yesterday, it felt like we made a lot of progress. A lot of the stuff that we were giving as coaches really felt like it was listened to, really valuable. Today, I think we were frustrated. We lost a lot of momentum that we had yesterday. So it's tough. It's really tough. I mean, these times are like, I think the hardest as a coach as well, right? Because everyone is tilted, right? They're angry, they're frustrated. And then you have to try and be the positive person in the room and like really lead by example. And that's hard. I think more players could do with that skill too, to realize that and to be able to lead by example in those situations. Those kind of players are players that I want in the room, definitely. So bear that in mind, definitely. And if you're a coach, I feel for you. I think we all suffer with this problem where we have a bad day of scrims or, you know, we're struggling, and you've got to try and bring the energy up, bring the positivity up, and just bring the mood up of the team so you can actually have an effective practice and you're not just like wasting a load of time. So I'd like to take this time before we're going to go into a VOD review now, and then we're going to go into another set of scrims. Just take this time to just stand up, have a little walk around, and have a mental reset for yourself as well. Take that time away from your PC and just, yeah, mental reset, because you've got to come and be the sane person in the room, which is obviously quite hard in that situation. You know that everyone's going to come in and be a little frustrated. People are going to probably be arguing a little bit, because we all want to win, right? Everyone wants to win. We know it comes from a good place, and I think sometimes it's helpful to remind them of that, remind them of the end goal, right? What we're working towards, why we're all here, and just kind of recenter ourselves, and then come in better for the next scrim. So I'll update you after the next scrim. See you in a bit, guys. So we just finished up scrims. Much better in that last game. Like I said, the first 2 games were not great, but we had a good VOD review, brought the energy, really brought everyone's kind of mental up. It was really good. I feel like we recovered a lot into that last scrim. Sometimes it's just like that. You just need that kind of inflection point, you know, bring everyone's focus up. You have those bad games, and then you hope that you can kind of rebound into the later ones. And it was definitely a learning experience. And I think at those lows, that's when you like really find the stuff that you need to work on, right? And sometimes it's something that you didn't expect, you know, you weren't thinking about, or like players or just someone else brings a perspective that you didn't have already. So good end to the day. I'm going to sign off now. I'm going to go chill, watch some TV, something like that. And yeah, that's what a day in my holiday looks like. Let's see if I can film some stuff tomorrow as well.